It's always been inside of you, and now it's time to let it through. 'Cause baby, you're a firework. Come on, show 'em what you're worth. Make 'em go, oh, 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 as you shoot across the sky. 'Cause baby, you're a firework. Come on, let your colors burst. Make 'em go, oh, oh, oh. You're gonna leave 'em falling down, down, down. 'Cause baby, you're a firework. Come on, show 'em what you're worth. Make 'em go, oh, 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 as you shoot across the sky. 'Cause baby, you're a firework. Come on, let your colors burst. Make 'em go, oh, oh, oh. You're gonna leave 'em falling down, down, down. 'Cause baby, you're a firework. All right. Hold on, you're stepping on my cord. Good morning. How is everyone this morning? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you really sure?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to believe you. It's great to have you here. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Toronto. My name is Jonathan Zenz. I'm the spiritual director here, and lots of stuff to tell you about after I have some water. So a couple of things that are going on. We do have classes starting up September 4th. We'll start self-mastery class. For those of you who are looking to be in that class, Living the Science of Mind is the required textbook for that class. We do have these in stock, so I just wanted to let you know about that. And then self-mastery, and then your class, Helen Vallot, who is our practitioner today, will be teaching The Untethered Soul, and that I believe September 17th. It's going to be on Thursdays. So self-mastery is on Wednesdays, 7:30 to 9:30, and the Untethered Soul will be on Thursdays from 7 to 9. So that's all coming up. I also want to remind everybody that a week from tomorrow, Mental Muscle starts online through the Global Truth Network, which is the online workshop that's facilitated by me. 16 weeks to shift your entire belief system so that you can start living the extraordinary life that we talk about here all the time. Check that out, and all the information for these things is up in the bookstore, and if you have any questions, you can also ask me. So, it's great to have you here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are a spiritual community that gathers here on a Sunday morning. For what? I'm going to really ask this question. Why do you come here on a Sunday morning? Just shout out an answer.
Community.
Community? Celebrate? Hugs? There's a good reason to be here. No, really. Music? Yeah. We come here for coffee. I come here for coffee. To remember what? That Tony is God. To be reminded of the spiritual truth. There is one spiritual truth that we teach here, and that is that we are each of us an expression of divine energy. We're each of us divine energy embodied in this particular human form at this time and place, right here and right now. So we can, each and every one of us, take that statement and say, I am God. Say that right now. I am God. That is the truth. That is the truth. And it makes some people feel uncomfortable at first, right? Yeah, I really challenged people when I first got here a year and a half ago to say it out loud. I am God. I am the presence of the divine creator on this plane of existence. And what a good feeling it is when you really start to embody that. And today is about the embodiment of the principle. So we celebrate this in a number of ways. First of all, let's take our songbooks and let's read together on the cover of your songbooks this statement that was written by Dr. Ernest Holmes. All right, here we go. I am happy and complete today and forever. Within me is that which is perfect and complete. It is the spirit of all life, truth, and action. I am happy in the certain knowledge of this inner light. I radiate joy and life, for life is within me now. Life is within each and every one of us right now. Not only is life in you, life is you. There is one life. Ernest Holmes wrote, well, many people have written this, but he really nailed it down. There is one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. And that life is your life and my life right now. Helen used it in her meditation this morning. When we really come to a deeper place of understanding and embodiment of that, then we do shift into the extraordinary experience that we're all seeking. So who's here for the first time? Is there anyone who's here for the first time? Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Welcome. It's wonderful to have you here. And I'm, yes, you can applaud if you like. Thank you for being here. And I only ask because it's a recognition that you've brought your own consciousness to this place and you've added to a collective consciousness which we're all sharing right now. So thank you for being here. I'm going to invite to the lectern our practitioner of the day to share a bit of inspiration that she has prepared for us, Helen Velo. So please welcome Helen.
Good morning. So I want to talk about spiritual practice. I've had lots of different spiritual practices throughout my life, I guess, because everything's a spiritual practice, but really consciously practicing and through, we do affirmations, meditation, prayer. And I started thinking about spiritual practice and how I wanted to switch things up for myself. And I looked up what spiritual practice is defined as in the dictionary, and it's a spiritual practice is a spiritual discipline or spiritual exercise which includes any activity that associates with cultivating spirituality. So I've come to understand for myself that anything can be a spiritual practice. It's the energy and the intention and the presence that we bring ourselves to that particular practice. And it really involves this experience and acceptance that our reality is right here, right now, and that whatever is happening is absolutely perfect. It is God expressing. And what I always have in each and every moment is the choice where I could react out of fear or respond out of love. And that is entirely my choice. And the more that I embody and see and know and have faith that God is always expressing, so everything is all God, then I can consciously choose to respond from that place of love. And therefore, it's our own mental state. It is our mental state that determines how we're going to respond. And Ernest Holmes says, mental practice deals only with thought. Changeless reality. Reality is with a capital R because reality is in God's reality, not the effects that we experience out here. The perfect universe. Turn entirely away from the condition. Look only at what you want and never limit your view of life. Place no limit on principle. God never compromises. God never compromises. And that's on page 183. It's at the top under causes and conditions in the science of mind. And I'm reading this book about Emma Curtis Hopkins, and she talked about that what she had her students do as part of their practice is keep a journal and record 3 things. Their idea of good. I thought that was really interesting. What is my idea of good? Their praise and gratitude, and the healings and transformations that resulted from their treatments, so that they're consciously seeing it, acknowledging, recognizing it, and affirming it. So for me, what happened at Asilomar is music in this genre, in the world of Centers for Spiritual Living, took on a whole new meaning. Because I've always grown up with music. I grew up with a lot of classical music, and primarily that's what I listened to. Some pop, but mostly classical, jazz, and some other alternative things. And I've always appreciated, one of the things I appreciated is when I first came here, after I finally got to service, was the band. Because, oh my God, there's amazing music that touches the soul. And at Asilomar, I had exposure to so many brilliant musicians. So I basically dragged Jonathan to their booths, and I said, all right, we have to have this, and we have to have this, and we have to have this, and we want this artist and this artist. And Margaret Ann and Lena, they were waiting so patiently for us because the booths were lined up for people to get the music. And I'm like, Jonathan would say, well, we could come back later. And I'm like, no, we're getting them now. We're getting them now because our congregation also needs to have exposure to all this incredible music. And the song that I played in my meditation is from it's Lisa and Erica, and it's on one of the CDs. So there's a whole slew of CDs out there, and I think it just complements everything that you guys do. So what I wanted to do also was acknowledge, thank you for the beautiful music that you play. I absolutely, and that you bring, thank you. And I have this poem that was my aunt's. My aunt passed away in 2004 at the age of 95. And she was a musician. She was a piano player and sang opera. And she always had this, and it was one of the first things I grabbed. And I have it in my basement. And I think the words encompass what music is. So I dedicate this to all of you today. Words are wonderful enough, but music is even more wonderful. It speaks not to our thoughts as words do. It speaks straight to our hearts, spirits, to the very core and root of our souls. Music soothes us, stirs us up, it puts noble feelings into us. It makes us joyful. It melts us to tears. We know not how. It is a language by itself, just as perfect in the way as speech, as words, just as divine, just as blessed. Music has been called the speech of angels. I will go further and call it the speech of the Creator himself. And so I finally looked up who wrote this because I couldn't find it. It was Charles Kingsley. And he was a priest in the Church of England, and I think this was written around 1860. So, to you, thank you. So, I have an affirmation for us, and it is around spiritual practice. And so I invite you to repeat it out loud after me. I am my spiritual practice in all that I do in each and every moment. I am my spiritual practice in all that I do in each and every moment. God is always expressing goodness and love. God is always expressing goodness and love. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you, Helen. That's beautiful. Is this one up? Hey, Tony. There it is. Thank you, Helen. So music has always been a very important part of my life. So funny. My mother is here. And I'm feeling very emotional right in this moment. This song is from the same album we sing. I mean, obviously, it's not the album that we recorded, but this is Lisa and Erica as well, this song that we're going to do called So Sacred. It's super easy, but if you need to look at the lyrics, it's on page 7 of your songbook. Asilomar has always been a special experience for me as well, and certainly the music that we experience at Asilomar is transformational. And I am friends with all of these musicians, and we're looking to have many of these musicians come here over the course of the next year. I've spoken to all of them. One of the things that I love about music, and every single one of them, top to bottom, will say this about music. Music is boundaryless. That no matter what, it is truly the universal language, because the feeling, and this is what a lot of what I'm talking about today is feeling. The feeling that you can get from music comes beyond the words that are being said, because the words are the intellectual part. The music is the heart. And so as we step into this time of recognition, as we sing this chant together, and Helen will do a prayer in the middle of the chant. I invite you to relax, breathe. Just simply be right where you are, for there's no other place you need to be except right here, right in this moment. This is the only moment that exists right now. And so I invite you to allow yourself to feel the joy of this moment. I invite you to allow yourself to feel the peace in this moment. I invite you to allow yourself to feel harmony in this moment. This is a sacred moment. So sacred, so secret, so precious, this love. 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 I will share. I will share, 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 this love. So sacred, so secret, so precious, this love.
And together, all of us as one, affirming that life is sacred, God is sacred, and it is all one. We are one with this divine presence, this beautiful energy of life, of love that surrounds each one of us, that is the truth of what this community always comes together to express. That we are God, and we are truly sacred, divine beings. That we are precious, and to honor, to acknowledge, and to respect our own divinity, our own oneness, our own precious gifts that each one of us have to give to the world, knowing that we're all here as one, and yet so beautiful, unique, individual, with our gifts, our joys, our happiness, and our life to express and serve for the highest and best good of this entire world. And so breathing in and feeling that energy of the divine within, and acknowledging and saying yes to life, yes to love, yes to living, yes to the full presence of the divine that is always right here, right now. And it is with great respect and gratitude that I acknowledge and say thank you to this beautiful, wonderful energy that is each one of us. Thank you for this center and this community and these teachings that remind us of how powerful and beautiful and divine we truly are. And so I now release these words into the eternal one, where it is all done. It is all done so beautifully and with this energy of love. And with this energy of love, everything blooms. Everything blooms into the beautiful expression of God that is right here, right now. And so I let go, I release, and I know God is always, always in perfect action. And together we say, and so it is.
I will share.
I will share.
I will share. I will share. I will share. I will share. I will share this love. So sacred, so secret, so precious, this love. So sacred, so secret, so precious, this love. This love, this love. Thank you, Helen. From this place, right from this sacred spot, this sacred energy that we've created, I'm going to invite you to take a look at the back of your songbooks. And let's read together the Declaration of Principles, checking in right now to make a determination, is this what I believe? Let's read this together. I believe in one living spirit, one indestructible, absolute, and self-existent cause. I believe this one manifests itself in and through all creation. I believe in the individualization of the Spirit, and that all people are individualizations of the one Spirit. I believe that heaven is within, and that we experience it to the degree that we become conscious of it. I believe that God is personal to all who feel this indwelling presence. I believe in the eternality, immortality, and the continuity of the individual soul forever and ever expanding. I believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of life to all. The eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of life to all. The greatest gift that we have been given is the gift of experience. And so we're going to step into the next experience of this service, which is to have our featured song of the day, which was prepared for us so beautifully by Pierre Gautreau, music and lyrics by Pierre Gautreau. So please welcome Pierre Gautreau and the Queen Street Band.
If your days are long and you're going home thinking, what's the use? You're not living your dreams, and it seems there's always another excuse. Can't understand why the frustration won't die. Just follows you wherever you go. Time and again, love attraction won't end. So learn what you need to know. Some say life happens by chance. I beg to differ. I hold a different stance. You are a creator. You are your life maker. Beliefs held in your mind will appear in your present time. You are a creator. It's just a shift in your consciousness where the intention goes. Energy flow, so it is what it is. The past can't be undone. Bust your heart open wide. A change in the tide has begun. We hold the power to change our lives, to see the world again with new eyes. You are a creator. You are your life maker. Beliefs held in your mind will appear in your present time. You are a creator. Let the stories you tell be of joy, not hell. You're the author of your play. What will you write today? It's just a shift in your consciousness where the intention goes, the energy flows. You are a creator. You are your life maker. Beliefs held in your mind will appear in your present time. You are a creator. You are your life maker. You are a creator.
Pierre Gautreau and the Queen Street Band, Stephen Belair, Tanis Burnett, Brian Forwell, Patrick Lee. Wow, it's funny, today I had not intended really in this, well, sort of was intending in this, well, okay. Let me start over. Let me move my lectern out so I can think about for a moment what I need to say right now. Which is, I think it's very, there is one mind. It's very interesting that you brought up music today, because I really wasn't initially intending to talk about music, although as I started thinking about what I've prepared, I actually do talk about music. I am talking about music in my talk today. But what's coming to me in this moment, I feel is a deeper expression than I had prepared. And you know, it's funny because so I'm walking to the center with my mom this morning, and she can verify this. I turned to her as we were walking in. I said, you know, I'm not feeling very inspired today. I said, and it's not something that I worry about. There are mornings where I walk to the center and I have no idea what I'm going to talk about because I am not feeling very inspired that day. But I'll tell you, by the time I get to this point at 11:30, something's got to come out. I got to say something, right? And this is the great lesson for me, and a lesson that it has taken me over a year and a half to get to. Well, I would say it was November 11th of last year where it really clicked in for me in terms of my ministry, where I stopped worrying so much about what I had prepared and started trusting that Spirit was speaking through me more and more. So I don't worry about it so much, but she can say, I basically was walking along saying, I don't feel very inspired today. But I feel very, very infinitely inspired right now. So. There's a line from, I want to say it's not 12th Night, but it might be 12th Night. If music be the food of love, play on. Today is all about feeling and an intellectual understanding of this philosophy. When we talk about love within this philosophy, we are talking about the creative energy of the universe. It's also perfect that you sang Creator, which I knew he was singing, but you know what? You didn't send the lyrics this time because I probably have them somewhere in my computer, but I didn't really think about tying in the song or tying it all together, but of course it all works out. The creative force of the universe, the only creative factor of the universe is love. It is the energy of the divine. It's just love. There is, you know, you hear me say it all the time. There is no God out there. God is who and what you are. You are the energy of love in physical form. Can you get on board with that? Oh, okay. Well, apparently Wim can. Can you get on board with that idea? You are love embodied. How do you feel about that? Does it make you feel good? Does it make you feel uplifted? Does it make you feel like, oh, I can get behind that and I can live my life according to that principle? Or is it possible that you might be having a different experience where it's not so easy to have that understanding? Because I think a lot of people are drawn to this philosophy because they feel like, oh gosh, things are not going so well, but those people over there, they're really happy. And we get it a lot. Those people are way too happy. How is it possible that you can be that happy all the time in your life? I'm telling you, it is possible, but it is a decision that we all make to live lives that are happy. You know, and I've said this, so this is something that I've come up with because there is actually disagreement between me and Ernest Holmes. Yes, we do disagree sometimes. A lot of people will come to this and say happiness is a decision. And I say happiness is not a decision. Happiness is our natural state of being. Unhappiness is a decision. If you are choosing to live an unhappy life, that is a decision you've made. If you align yourself with the truth of who you are naturally happy. Hello, God is calling. And God, I said it last week, God is the only one here. Don't ever forget it. God is the only one here. Every place you go, God is the only one there. God is the only thing that exists. God is it. We are all part of and expressing as that divine energy. God is it. Nothing else. Nothing else. Here we go. Ready? The wall. There's God. God is in the water. God is in the breath. I love that you used breath this morning in your meditation because the concept of breath, inspiration, is the act of breathing. If you want to feel inspired, I'm telling you, focus on your breath. Allow yourself to become quiet with just the breath. That is one of the most inspiring spiritual practices you can engage in. Allowing yourself to become centered within that. Ernest Holmes writes, the real creative power of the mind is deeper than the intellect. The real creative power of the mind is deeper than the intellect. Now, this is also a very intellectual philosophy that we've come to at first. And a lot of people are drawn to this philosophy because of the intellectual ideas that he spouts off in this 700 pages of text. When, of course, the only thing you really need to know are the first is really, it's not even the main body of the book. He writes everything you need to know in the introduction to the science of mind. The entire philosophy is in the introduction to this book. But it is an intellectual understanding of this philosophy. And today what I want to talk about is, what do you do? How do you come to that place where you embody the teaching from a feeling standpoint? Because once you intellectually understand it, that's all well and good, but it is about the feeling that you start to shift your life when you get in touch with the feeling. That is the real creative power. Feeling is the real creative power. So when Ernest Holmes writes, the real creative power of the mind is deeper than the intellect, what he is talking about is feeling. And if you, in practitioner study, if you study to become a practitioner, one of the things we talk about is getting to the feeling of the prayer, not just saying the right words. Because a lot of, especially, I have to take my watch off. Early on, because we're getting comfortable now, all right. Early on, when you study to be a practitioner, and even if you're just studying prayer in any given class that I teach, which is most of the classes are geared towards using prayer as a tool in your life. When you study prayer, people think you have to say the right words, and you don't. It is about getting in touch with the feeling place. And when you start to embody that feeling, that's when things shift in your life. Ernest Holmes continues, the intellect gives a definite form to the feeling. So the intellect is important. I'm not saying it's not important. The intellect gives a definite form to the feeling, but unless the feeling is there, the intellect will merely have provided an empty mold. The intellect can do nothing on its own without feeling. So as you engage in spiritual practice, and there's actually a fourth one that is really starting to become very prevalent in our movement. So we teach meditation, affirmation, prayer, which we also, I said it last week, I'm starting to take back the word prayer, because for me to stand up here, and especially if you're new to this, for me to say spiritual mind treatment sounds a little clinical, and it sounds a little woo-woo, and so let's just call it what it is. It's prayer, but it's prayer from a different understanding. We are not praying to God, we are praying as God. And God praying as God can do nothing but create. So I accept prayer as part of my life. So we teach meditation, affirmation, prayer, and the fourth one that we're really starting to teach quite a bit is visioning, which is allowing the intuitive nature of the divine to come through you as a spiritual practice. Asking the question, what wants to happen here? What is required for my highest good? How do I step into the next thing? What do I need to release to bring to fruition what I choose to experience? That's a good one. What do I need to release? Many of us are holding on to things that really should be released. So the intellect can create, and so I'm going to go back a little bit. The intellect can create, but it's not going to be a lasting creation. And this is, remember I talked, about 2 months ago about demonstration junkies, that we've become demonstration junkies. That's an intellectual practice where we focus our mind and we create something out here in the world of form, and there it is, and it shows up. And there it is. But the minute our tendency of thought goes off track of what we have purposefully created using the intellect, when we get back into the overall feeling of our life, that may dissipate. So the intellect is a great tool to start to shift the experience and to shift the feeling place, because you can tell yourself, I am happy and complete today and forever. Just like we read at the beginning of the service, I am happy and complete today and forever. And I'm telling you, you repeat that, you start to believe it from a feeling place, and that is exactly what you will experience. We have become so good at allowing the intellect to trick us into thinking that we're creating. Now, we're creating all the time, whether we're aware of it or not. But we can become very lost in the intellect. I have people who come to me for counseling and for prayer who get lost in the intellect. They only see the stuff out here. They only see the world of form, and they're having a hard time remembering who they are, which is the only thing I'm ever doing in prayer, is I am reminding you who you are, which is you are God, end of sentence. You are God. You are the I am. I am is a complete sentence. So what I'm talking about today is an embodiment of a principle, which is all I'm ever really talking about, right? You come here every Sunday, you hear me say really the same thing. How do you embody this principle? And when I talk about embodiment, let's get very clear today. I'm defining how you embody the principle, that is getting in touch with the feeling of what you would like to experience. But don't be overrun by your emotions. Now, emotion and feeling for me are different things. Feeling is that intuitive place within you. Emotion is the outward expression of it. All right? So when I talk about, you'll hear me, because I differentiate these things within class settings. When I talk about emotion, I'm talking about the form of the feeling, which is the embodiment. I'm not making any sense. We have cause and effect. I'm going to do a little teaching here. We have cause and effect. The universe operates based on a law of cause and effect. Feeling is the cause. The effect is the emotion. Does that make sense? So when you are expressing your feelings, that's emotion. But you can have a feeling without ever expressing it, because it is so deeply seated within you. So what we're talking about is when we're talking about embodying the feeling, we're talking about embodying the cause of creation in your life. And also, I do believe we need to find the balance between the intellect and feeling. That when we find the balance, because the intellect, we can shift our feelings. Who believes that? Do you believe that you have control over your feelings? Actually, I'm going to do a poll. Raise your hand if you believe that you can shift your feelings. Awesome. That is awesome. How many of you are actively engaged in it when it comes down to wanting to shift your feelings? Okay. There were a few of you that raised your hands. I just want to point out, right? And I think that we may say, oh yes, of course I believe that I can shift my feelings, but when it comes down to the actual practice of it, a lot of us are not willing to go down that road. Or maybe there actually is an unwillingness to believe that we can shift our feelings. I think the greatest feeling for me is feeling a connection to divine source. If you take just this moment, let go of anything that is in, I use this all the time. Let go of anything that has preceded this moment. Let go of anything you anticipate and simply be present in the moment. Allow yourself to go to that feeling place, because that place of pure presence, that place of pure in the moment presence, that is a connection to divine source. What does the connection to divine source feel like? Because I think that's what we're all here trying to get to, is a deeper connection to our God selves. And to experience that when we walk out these doors, to not just feel good on a Sunday morning, but to allow this feeling to carry throughout the rest of the week, what does that feel like? Only you can answer that. And I don't even know that it can be described in words. I know that I cannot describe my feeling to divine source with words. Words are not adequate. But you know it when you feel it, right? You know it when you feel it. And we've all had those profound experiences, I'm sure. I guarantee you there is not a person in here, and I'm not going to ask you to raise your hand if this is not the case, but there is not a person in here who has not at some point felt the profound presence of spirit. It's the truth. So, I have these moments on both sides of that equation, which I call moments in the woods. Moments in the woods. And yes, it actually is a Broadway reference. Moments in the woods, I describe, okay, so who knows what show it's from? Yes? Into the Woods, very good. And there's a song called Moments in the Woods and Into the Woods, and I'm actually going to touch on that song very briefly. But here's how I describe moments in the woods, because I've actually taken this out of the context of the show, and I use it in my life. Moments in the woods are fleeting experiences that give me a glimpse of something greater than I am, something greater than me, my understanding of me in human form. Moments in the woods are the point at which I have a profound understanding of my God self. And it is not a separation in my life when I come to that. So there is a lyric in the song, Moments in the Woods, and this is the lyric. Now, I'll explain what's happening in the context of the show, which is a very difficult show to truly explain thoroughly in, a 10-second soundbite. The baker's wife has just had an affair with Prince Charming. And she is questioning her entire experience of her life. And she's saying, why can't I have the great life that I have with the baker and have fun with the prince? Now, we don't have to go down the moral question there. But one of the things that she asks in the context of this song, this is the lyric, is it always or? Is it never and? Is it always or? Is it never and? Are we living our lives in choices as opposed to gradients? Because I think we live a lot more in gray area, but we're looking for this or this. We're looking for the black or the white. We're looking for the A or the B. We're looking for the thing that's going to set it all right, which is, again, why, I'll go back to it, why we're so interested in demonstrating in the world of form. We're so interested in creating an effect in the world of form, because we think that that one thing, that one choice that we make is going to shift everything. Is it always this or that? Why can it never be this and that? Talk about a full life if you had this and that. Does one choice in your life eliminate the gradient? And where are you making those choices in your life where you eliminate the gradient, where you eliminate the possibility of something else? This also goes in line, see, we're playing off each other today. This also goes in line with what you talked about in terms of spiritual practice is everything and anything you do. More and more, you are in spiritual practice if you are expressing and embodying the divine in everything you do. One of the things that I had to do when I was studying to become a practitioner before I was becoming a minister, I don't know if you had to do the same exercise in your class. I'm really dry today. We had to take an everyday occurrence and find the spiritual nature within that. And we had to write about it. We had to do an essay on it. And so I don't do this every day, which now is going to sound maybe a little gross, but I wrote it around the concept of cleaning my washroom in my apartment. And because it's something that I really hate. I hate cleaning. I mean, scrubbing the the not so pleasant areas, if you know what I mean. Scrubbing things out, you know, making sure that I hate it. I really hate it. And I wrote an entire essay around finding the spiritual within it so that I could start to learn to love it. And I wrote about how taking care of my washroom was akin to taking care of myself. Because when that is clean, when that is well preserved and well cared for, how can I not take care of myself? So I found the spiritual within the mundane. It's something that I would suggest you all take a look at this week. What are the mundane things that you do every day, every week, whatever, that you can now look toward the spiritual and find the spiritual within them? And wow, I've gone off track a little bit. There you go, Brian, I'm on a tangent. I'm going to look at my notes here. So I found the spiritual within the mundane, and I was able to find the and in life. Because I was not escaping my life. It's like I'll either have a clean washroom or I'll have a messy washroom. And if I liken them to my mind, I'll either have a clean mind or I'll have a messy mind. I found the place where I could experience the and as opposed to the or. And sometimes we go back and forth between the and the or, and that's okay too. But what we're studying within this experience is to become more and more aware of it when it's happening. One of the other lyrics is, just remembering you've had an and when you're back to or, and I love this, makes the or mean more than it did before. Just remembering that you've had an and when you're back to or makes the or mean more than it did before. And that's about remembering who you are. Just remembering you've had an and. Just remembering that you are the divine. You are God. When you've had the experience of life sucks. How many of you have had an experience? You don't have to raise your hand. But just check in with yourself. How many of you have ever had an experience of life sucks? Because I have. I don't stand up here saying that my life has always been, peaches and cream. Does that work? We've had ors in our life. But remembering that there is always possibility and there is always probability for something greater to be experienced and to express itself by means of us at the drop of a hat. And it only comes when we make the decision to do it. Ernest Holmes writes, limitation is not a thing of itself. It is a way of belief. It is not. Limitation is not a thing. It is something that we have accepted in our life to experience limitation. There is always an and in everything that we even perceive as an or situation. There is always an and. Because God is infinite. And if God is infinite, there can be nothing other than God. So everything that we perceive to be limited cannot be limited based on the very understanding that there is nothing but God. So God, being infinite, is unlimited. So our experience has unlimited possibility, unlimited probability. It is 100% unlimited. Limitation is not a thing of itself. It is a decision we make. So today I'm going to encourage you. There's homework today, by the way. Today, I'm going to encourage you to start to get in touch with the feelings that you have. You can decide how you feel. And as you experience feelings throughout this week, and I know I'm opening up a can of worms here. Actually, you know what? Just take it intellectually for today, if that's the only place you can go. But start to become aware of your feelings throughout this week, even if it is starting as an intellectual exercise. Each morning, this is mental muscle homework, by the way. Those of you who've been in mental muscle, you will recognize this. Each morning, when you get up, ask yourself 2 questions. The first question to ask yourself every morning this week is, what am I feeling? Check in with yourself and be honest with yourself about what you're feeling, even if it is, I feel not so good. And if you feel great, awesome. The second question to ask yourself is this what I want to feel today? You can either go with what you're feeling when you first wake up, or you can make a decision to redirect the current of your life. How many of you have heard, how many of you have ever gotten up on the wrong side of the bed? When you buy into that, if you don't redirect the current, when you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, because that is a feeling place, right? You feel not so good. So you can either allow it to affect the rest of your day, or you can make a new choice. So 2 questions this week. Every morning when you wake up, what am I feeling? Is this what I want to feel today? It's up to you to really begin to recognize the moments in the woods for you. It's up to each and every one of us, because spiritual practice is personal to each and every one of us. Now, we teach methods and tools within this philosophy, but ultimately what it comes down to is what works for you to allow you to get to that place of feeling, to allow you to embody the divine more effectively in your life. It's up to each and every one of us to begin to recognize those moments. And remember that when you've had an and, when you're back to or, makes the or mean more than it did before. That's the truth. And you can always find the and in every situation. So those are the moments in the woods I'm looking for. And I trust you are on this journey with me. Namaste. All right, so we've come to that time in the service where we do our offering, and I like to refer to it as our divine givingness section of the service, where we come to a deeper realization that giving and receiving, there's an and. It's not giving or receiving. Giving and receiving are 2 sides of the same coin. They're 2 sides of the same experience. So as you give, you open yourself to the opportunity to receive. As you receive, you open yourself up to the opportunity to give. So the gift you give today, whether you call it your investment into the center, your tithe, your contribution, your offering, whatever you call it, recognize that it is a gift given from the heart. And as you give, know that it is moving through this center to great things in this world. And we're going to celebrate the experience of giving and receiving by singing The Point of Power, which is on page 20. Oh, we have to read Let's read together, and let's read together as you have what it is that you're offering to the center today. Hold it to your heart if that's comfortable for you. And let's read the divine givingness statement on the back of our songbooks. I know that God is the source of all supply, and that money is God in action. I know that my good is here now. I claim an abundance of money to spare and share. I know that true prosperity includes perfect health, perfect wealth, and perfect happiness. I bless all that I have now, and I bless the increase. I give thanks for this good. I know that my gift today goes forward to heal and bless. I joyously contribute to this vision of this spiritual center, and know that it returns to me multiplied abundantly. So we will sing together The Point of Power, which is on page 27. And you're welcome to stand up as the baskets go around, and you're welcome to give online and sing along with us as well.
2, 3, 4. In this moment I feel joy. In this moment I feel joy. In this moment I feel joy. I feel joy. I feel joy. I feel joy. And the point of power is in this moment now. And the point of power is in this moment now.
grace.
In this moment I feel grace.
In this moment I feel grace. In this moment I feel grace. I feel grace. I feel grace. I feel grace. And the point of power is in this moment now. And the point of power is in this moment now. I feel love.
In this moment
I feel love. In this moment I feel love. In this moment I feel love. I feel love. I feel love. I feel love. And the point of power is in this moment now. And the point of power is in this moment now. And the point of power is in this moment now. And the point of power is in this moment now. You can clap if you want. I heard a clap. All right, and I'll invite Helen to do a blessing over our offering.
So as we join together as one community with open hearts, with love in our hearts, with the knowing that within each one of us, we open our hearts to give and we receive, and we give and we receive. And it is with an open, grateful heart that this community and the Board of Trustees receives this offering today, knowing that it goes to serve, to teach, to embody, to inspire people to really understand what these teachings are about, and to grow our community and to spread love and light throughout the world. And that really does serve the highest and best good of all mankind. And so, thank you for this offering today. Thank you for the blessings from the divine, and thank you to each and every person in our community for your open hearts, your giving, and your love and support of this center. I release these words to that perfect, lovely, beautiful law that says yes, that does always what is declared. And so I let go and I let God, and together we say, and so it is.
Thank you so much, Helen. I want to continue this spirit of gratitude by thanking our board members of the day, Judy and Jim, for their service, and always lovely to have you. You know, if you want to stay, you can always stay for the song, but, you know, maybe Jim. All right. I just want to make sure, because I know Judy likes to hear the benediction song. I also want to thank Pat and Kathy, who were our setup today, and Wim and Terry, who are greeting everyone as you came in today. I want to thank Carmen's not in the booth. It's Tony in the booth, because Carmen called in sick this morning. So let's know the truth for Carmen, that she is the pure expression of vibrant health right here and right now. And we trust and know that she is not on the road to recovery. She is recovered now. So I know that truth for Carmen. But I want to thank Tony for doing double duty and running the camera and doing the sound in the booth today. Yes. I want to thank Mahala and Heather, who are downstairs with the dynamic kids today. And I want to thank Pierre Gautreau and the band. I would like to thank, did I say Margaret Ann in the bookstore? Nope. Margaret Ann is in the bookstore today, so thank you, Margaret Ann. Yes. And I want to thank Helen for your brilliant consciousness and what you bring and share with us when you are the practitioner of the day. It's always gorgeous, and so thank you for what you brought to share today. Yes, we have. Well, you're already a brilliant minister. You just, now she's about to start 3 years of training to get a certificate that says she is a minister, but you already are a brilliant minister, so thank you. I want to thank each and every one of you for bringing your consciousness here to this place, because it is you who makes this community, not me. And so I'm grateful to each and every one of you for what you share with this community. And I want to thank everybody who watches online, whether you're watching live now or you watch on the archives. It's a joy to have you all join us. So let's take this feeling. Do you feel good? Awesome. Let's take this feeling and recognize that we can create a new world beyond these walls. And the truth is, it's not really a new world. It's a world that we decide upon. I love this song. And I chose to sing this song today because of what it says, because sometimes people hear the lyrics and they're like, oh, it sounds a little off, but I understand the context of the song. But really allow yourself to step in to the embodiment that we are, each of us, building our world beautifully, brilliantly, effortlessly, and easily. And we may have had heartbreak in the past. We may have had experiences. We may have had those or experiences. But now we step into the and, a deeper understanding, a deeper experience, a deeper knowing. Out of the ruins and rubble, out of the smoke, out of our night of struggle, can we see a ray of hope? One pale thin ray reaching for the day. We can build a beautiful city. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can build a beautiful city, not a city of angels, but we can build a city of men. We may not reach the ending, but we can start slowly, but truly mending, brick by brick, heart by heart. Now, maybe now, we'll start learning how we can build a beautiful city. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can build a beautiful city, not a city of angels, but we can build a city of men. So right here, right now, I step into a deeper embodiment, a deeper understanding, and a deeper expression of love, of life, of the divine. For there is only God. There is only God. I allow myself to go to that feeling place of that understanding. There is only God. Right here in this moment, that's all there is. That's all there ever is. And so I allow myself to simply connect. I invite everyone here to connect to that feeling place within, that understanding of the divine. And from this feeling place, from this understanding, I know that each of us are living extraordinary lives. Each of us are expressing as God in everything we do. God shows up in every action. God shows up in every behavior. God shows up in every experience. I trust this and I know this. And I allow this to be the expression of my life. And I invite everyone here to allow it to be the expression of their lives. Each and every one of us living God's life, for there is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. And that life is our life right now. And so in gratitude, I simply let it be so. I know it is so as I release this word. And together we say, and so it is. When your heart is all but shattered, when your faith is all but killed, you can give up bitter and battered, or you can slowly start to build a beautiful city. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can build a beautiful city, not a city of angels, but finally a city of man. A city of man. Thank you so much. So, we're going to end the day with Peace Like a River, which is on page 25 of your songbooks. And feel free to get up, stretch, dance, feel good.
Here we go, guys. I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river. I got a peace like a river in my soul. I got the peace like a river. I got peace like a river. I got a peace like a river in my soul. I got joy like a fountain. I got joy like a fountain. I got joy like a fountain in my soul. I got joy like a fountain. I got joy like a fountain. I got joy like a fountain in my soul. I got the love like an ocean. I got love like an ocean. I got love like an ocean in my soul. I got love like an ocean. I got love like an ocean. I got love like an ocean in my soul. Nice and quiet now, come on. I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river in my soul.
Come on now.
I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river in my soul. I got peace like a river. Oh, I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river in my soul.
Have a great week, everyone.